All right.
Are we back?
We are indeed
Oh, all right. Lord
back.
have mercy. Welcome back, me. As you may or may not be aware in TV land, because not everybody watches the show every week. In fact, nobody
Yeah.
watches it at all. But that's neither here nor there. I literally had shoulder surgery uh 4 weeks ago yesterday. So the ice
Yeah.
pack is on because I started the physical therapy. I couldn't do anything literally for a couple of weeks. Then you started slow, and now it's getting more aggressive. And I can tell you, after the physical therapy, my arm is screaming.
Oof.
Yeah. And then, so of course, they give you the drugs. Yeah. I didn't take any of that crap.
Yeah.
I started with a little Tylenol, ibuprofen back and forth. And last weekend, ooh, my stomach just like, okay, no.
Oh.
So either way, we battled
Are
through it,
you
no big deal.
are you getting
Oh yeah, no, they
topical?
tore it up. I tore the bicep off the bone. There were tendons missing. There was a bone cracked. There was a rotator cuff. There's three muscles in there. Two out of the three, infraspinatus and the supraspinatus, were both ripped and torn. So, he says when he went in, he wasn't sure what he's going to have to do. And instead of the, hour and 15, it was like 2 hours and 30 minutes. My shoulder looks like a shark bit it.
Yeah. Did
But
they
either
when
way,
you
no.
go for therapy, do they
Oh
give you like
yes,
a topical? They give you like a
yeah,
topical.
topical. No, this is gonna hurt. Shut up. Yeah,
He.
yeah,
Oh,
no
well,
topical.
jeez,
All
man,
right,
that's rough.
so
And you're
I
still
was.
working.
Oh yeah, probably another several weeks. Oh yeah, I work, baby.
Oh man,
I
that's rough.
I was I the May 7th was the surgery. I was back to work Monday. What are you gonna do? Stay at home and whine and cry and say, "Oh, my shoulder hurts"? No, that is
Well,
not
Paul, you're from a
how.
different era.
That's not how
You're
Reed
from
and Reed rolls, baby.
They're
We
going to read
didn't
about
go.
people like you in textbooks and go,
Yeah.
oh, they used to tough it? What is that?
Yeah. Stay at home now. What?
My
I
latte
got
doesn't have enough milk in
I
it.
got
Wah.
stuff to do.
I
All
need a
right,
mental
so
health day. My Wi Fi's too slow.
yeah. I will say though, once in a while, even this week, because I said that the aggressive therapy started, I've left now, mind you, say early. I left around 3 o'clock because
Yeah.
it's like I need to be at home, and I have this big brace that goes on and off. Right now it's
Yeah.
off, but anyway,
Oh, man.
we'll get through it. So,
Yeah.
but as you know, everyone out there in TV world that's been watching the show, these Florida law weeklies come out literally weekly, and
Yes.
it's appellate case law where someone has alleged that the judge made some type of mistake, or
Okay.
that one of the party's attorneys made some type of mistake, and then it goes to the appellate court and they decide, yeah, exactly. They decide who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we've talked about, there's my hat because my hair looks like crap. We've
The hat
talked
looks great, though.
about ride share companies and their immunity and different things of that nature.
Right. Okay.
All right. And I think we might have even in a few months ago, or yeah, it had to be because of my surgery, but we had talked about how sexual assaults are on the uptick when it comes to these rideshare companies. And they're called TNCs, transportation, network companies. But there's now three big ones.
Okay.
Uh, Uber, of course, Lyft, of course, and I think now Waymo. Waymo is the
Okay.
self-driving ride share company that I'm assuming is going to be classified under these TNCs as well.
Oh, interesting.
But
Waymo.
back to the
Huh.
assault. So of course, I'm reading these cases and I come across one where a rideshare company, in this case it was Lyft, was sued by a female passenger rider because she was assaulted allegedly by the driver.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So they the file, and this happened, just shows you how long this takes, the appellate process and this, that, and the other. This
Yeah.
happened April 15th of 2022. So we're talking 4 years ago.
That's a ways back. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, 4 years
Okay.
ago. So she files the complaint here in Florida, and the Lyft files a motion to dismiss, stating that there's a statute out there, 627.748 parentheses 18 that says that we can't be sued for this type of conduct, meaning a sexual assault for
SA.
our driver.
I think we're required to call them SA when we're on social media. I
What?
think it's somewhere in the terms of service. I think that's one of the words that they like don't want on the
Don't want what?
platform.
Assault?
No, the full term SA. So typically, I've always heard people call it SA, so they don't get their
What's
videos.
SA?
It's the abbreviation for it,
For what? Assault?
for the type of assault. Yeah.
Oh,
SA.
SA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like
No,
the way
fair
people I've
enough.
heard people refer to it. So
Oh,
just a heads
well,
up.
anyway, so
Yeah.
that
It's okay.
that's the allegation, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, that one didn't fly, you know. So what
And
they
that
do
was against
they're
Waymo.
against Lyft. This is Lyft.
Oh, Lyft.
All
Okay.
about Lyft. So
Okay.
they try to do an end run around that issue and say, well, we think that Lyft is responsible because their website talks about their safety features, and that how they background checks and things of that nature. So they were false and misleading safety representations on Lyft's website. Oh, here comes
Okay.
Jody. Ah, hold on a second. Oh, well, I see a J. This
a
is a
party
new
now.
feature. All right.
Well, there we go.
Sit tight there, Jode. We're talking about Lyft and Waymos and things of that nature, and we'll get to you in a second.
No worries.
All right, so back to it. So they say that they're responsible. Lyft is responsible because they're false and misleading advertising and misrepresented their safety qualifications and so forth.
Okay.
All right, that was the gist of it. Trying to get Lyft on the hook for this SA, which is a type of assault, Jody, that we can't say. So it's SA, but it's a male Lyft driver, a female passenger, and she's alleged she was assaulted, and she brought suit against Lyft just to bring Jode up to speed.
Okay.
Then the Lyft files a motion to dismiss based on a Florida statute that was enacted in 2022. Each year they do things in Tallahassee that most people don't realize they're doing. I got news for you. This one didn't make the paper, but they quietly enacted this statute. And the judge says, yes, based on 627, 74818, ride transportation network companies are not responsible when riders are assaulted, one way or the other.
Okay.
And so that's what the judge says.
Okay.
So of course the plaintiff, the woman's not happy, her lawyer's not happy with that decision. So they filed an appeal. And the appellate court basically reads the statute, and it says this statute's very broad when it comes to protecting these rideshare companies.
Yep.
And they said the statute says what it says. And we're not the legislative body. We're just here to interpret what the statutes say. And if your governmental body, elected officials, want to change it, they can, but that's not our job.
Okay. Yeah.
And the statute basically says that, and boy, if I could read it, it says if the harm to the persons or property results arising out of the use, operation, or possession of the motor vehicle operating the TNC, then the TNC, Lyft, or Uber is not responsible.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
so this would be back on the individual then.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
But so that's an extremely broad statute, and even the court says, I don't even know if the legislature realizes what they've done.
What they wrote. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking that maybe they were thinking that if it's in a crash situation.
Yeah.
But
right.
Said that in one of our prior podcasts, we talked about going back 10 years, how many sexual assaults there are out there in the rideshare industry. So I don't believe the legislature was as stupid as the court seemed to think they might have been.
Interesting.
So
all right. So Waymo then.
Well, that's right. That's why I say the topic of this is a Waymo, comma, maybe.
Oh, because there's no people in those.
you can't get sexual SA'd in a
Yeah, yeah,
Waymo
yeah.
because
Yeah.
guess what? Waymo
Eh,
don't have drivers.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
more you
Yeah.
think about it, when you call Lyft or Uber
Yeah.
and you're a female, you may or may not be intoxicated, but either way,
Yeah.
you're a female and you get in these cars or driven by Lord knows whom, your chances of being assaulted are, percentage wise there. It's nothing, nothing shocking, nothing surprising. And I was looking California, somebody got Lyft or Uber got whacked for like $8 million.
Mm.
Well, what happens is when these other states, they start seeing verdicts. States like Florida that are very protective of companies start changing the law to protect them.
Mm.
So I'll bet if you go back before, Jason, you can before 2022, you'll see some pretty good judgments in other states against these companies for these types of incidents. And they come to Florida and say, "Hey guys, we need some protection here. Uh,
Yeah.
we need some protection. So why don't you throw in paragraph 18 to 627-748 and protect us?" And
Yeah.
that's what they did.
Okay.
So me personally, if I'm a female Uber or Lyft rider
Customer. Yeah.
customer, I would try to ask for a female driver, and I would even wait a little longer if I can.
Yeah.
Uh, to
Does
get
the
it.
app allow you to request a
Yes,
female driver? Okay,
they do
great. Well,
now.
that's good. I
And
see. Can
then,
see that's something that I think you would likely be able to maybe have some sort of case, and that you didn't even offer the option. Like if
well,
you were,
according to this statute, they're
it's a
not on the hook for
non-starter.
anything.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, there is
yeah.
other protections that a female customer could take
Well,
with her
hey,
as a
look, I'm a
precaution.
firm believer of open carry.
There you go.
I got
Florida
news
does
for
have a
you. If
law.
you're strapped and somebody reaches over and, excuse me, just take me home. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, so let's move on. So, what have we
Hey.
learned? Go ahead. Questions?
I have a question.
Shoot.
Okay. So I don't know if your audience knows, but
On what?
myself and your daughter recently opened a personal injury clinic,
Yes.
and
Well,
we
you have a
we
question
from
about
time to
this, or
time.
I'm gonna have you introduce yourself and so forth.
Um, okay, well,
Go ahead and introduce. By the
Yeah.
way, this is my brother, Jody Reed, Major League Baseball player for 11, 12 years, coached in the minors, managing the minors, manager of the year, coach for the Dodgers, this, that, and the other. He's going to be a special feature on Live Feed Reed and talk about baseball. And because I watch it a lot, he doesn't watch it anymore. And he's going to answer some questions and educate you on things you probably don't know, especially Jason, who knows nothing. All right,
That's
back to
right.
you.
That's
well,
Talk
right.
about talk
yeah,
about your clinic and continue
I
with
know
your
nothing.
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. We'll get to the baseball later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for now, I was like, wow, that's interesting because I had a question for you actually.
Hmm.
Uh, we offer our patients Ubers,
Right.
rides to and from the clinic.
Um,
Hmm.
And
mm,
you know where I'm going with this, Jason?
I think so, but I'm
If
not cutting you off. You go ahead.
so, yeah, yeah. So we get them an Uber, and heaven forbid something happen. Okay, uh, does that open us up to liability for providing the Uber and maybe not? I don't know. Not
Good question.
yeah. Questioning
I
the
don't believe it does because I do the same thing. I Uber people to and from personally from my home and here at work. And it's no different than if you go to a hotel and they hail the taxi cab for you and they call it over and they open the door and you get in. Is the Marriott going to be responsible for you hailing the taxi cab that I got into that crashed or did something? No, it's too big of a stretch. Again,
yeah.
might
Okay.
someone
Interesting.
try, but that's that would open it up to every single person that calls an Uber for someone else. They're not going to open that door.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, take for instance, you're doing something nice to somebody who's intoxicated and you're like, you're not going to drive, I'll get
No,
you
I
an
mean,
Uber.
sometimes bars will call you an Uber.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of establishments that will call either a limousine, call you a limo. Hey, I'm gonna set you up in a limo to go out for your birthday party. Now I'm on the
Okay.
hook because the limo crashes or it's also no, I don't see that as being an issue.
Well, here's the question.
Hmm.
You should have known they were too inebriated. Uh, the driver took advantage of them, but you should have never let them in the cab because
Well, I
they
mean, hey,
were.
look, to say that there's not someone that might make that argument, I can't guarantee it, but I
Mhm.
don't think it will prevail because now what am I supposed to do? Drive them home myself?
I know I'm playing
Or
devil's
just
advocate.
open the
Just
bar door and say, bye?
Would it be any different if this were the like original days of actual taxi cabs?
Well, I'm just saying, but back to the, they were too drunk that I'm supposed to assume that the Uber driver is going to rape them
Right, right, right. Can't
or
use that
SA
word.
them, SA
Yeah, there you
them.
go.
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so that kind of comes down to foreseeability as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I don't think so. But would it, if you're a billionaire or something and somebody gets, you know, murdered and you can't sue the Lyft or the Uber, might some lawyer try to say, well, Mr. Reed or Mr. whomever, you called the ride share company and you knew they were intoxicated because you plied them with alcohol. Well, first you got the Florida doesn't have a social host rules, meaning you get hammered at my house and you leave, that's your problem, not mine.
All right.
And so then you'd be stretching, well, yeah, social host doesn't apply because Florida, protects homeowners from that. But then I'm going to try to squeeze you into the social host, got you hammered, and put you in an Uber to go home. I mean,
Yeah.
good luck.
Watching you guys go back and forth, I can almost imagine you all being brothers playing ball and you're like throwing each other curveballs to try to gotcha
Ah,
back and forth.
yeah,
I can
dude,
see it.
we
I
did
love it. I
everything.
love it.
All
And
right,
true to form for baseball players.
so you talked a little bit. Plug Brandon Injury and Wellness Center.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Brandon Injury and Wellness Center is personal injury clinic that Brittany and I opened back in, well, it was open back in January, started, so to speak, but we started accepting clients in August. And quite honestly, it's been really exciting. I was ready for a new chapter,
All right.
and I was getting out of baseball, didn't want to do I had to do something,
Yeah.
and so I said, you know what, I think this is something I can be home. I don't have to go away for 8 months, and I can, be involved with Brittany, who's, family. And it's actually been very rewarding. It really is. We started the clinic, and uh, uh, your patients come from, well, almost exclusively from the Brandon area, if you will. And it's been great.
Good.
We've tried to create a very personable atmosphere, as opposed to, I don't know, I guess like your basic medical kind of, quiet. You come in, you do your appointment and out you go. It's a very, it's a fun environment,
What do you
and
guys focus on as far as like your rehab or I don't know anything about your clinic. So, what is your
yeah.
the scope of what you would handle in general? You don't have to be
Personal injury, yeah.
specific.
Yeah, well, personal injury, auto accidents, slip and falls, any bicycle injuries, whatever, you know, um, an occasion that might have happened where, you need some preliminary treatment. And then
Okay.
from there, if, if determined by Brittany, who is the provider, and our doctor of physical therapy, Alexander Mancuso, if they're like, you know what, we need to, refer you out to someone, more extensive, that we also do that
Specialist.
as well. So,
Okay.
it's a beginning, treatment to steer you in the right direction. Heaven forbid something
Awesome.
happens.
So basically what they do is just what most accident clinics do, for lack of a better term. They do the conservative care. You come in, Brittany, is advanced nurse practitioner, does the initial analysis of your injuries. Allie's that does the PT, which I'm telling you, in my opinion, doing it, PT is what you need. The chiropractic stuff, not going to rip them, but it's day and night. Then they got the massage therapist. They'll send you for x-rays, MRIs, and then you go to a specialist on an as-needed basis. That's kind of the standard, but I will say this, because I go there for the treatment, and our clients are there, other clients from other lawyers and other doctors and referrals, and it's just really
That's fantastic.
It's a day and night facility, first class. So anyway, yes, it's my daughter, but I've gone to many others without naming them.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're nice. But let's do this. All right, because here's what happens. Jode sits at home on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and
every day of the week.
Yeah, and I watch the Rays, right?
Monday through Monday.
So I'll call him up after I see something egregious and just literally bitch and whine and complain, and he'll just go into why, who, what, when, where, and why. And I write some of these things down so we can talk about it.
Okay.
And here's the deal: when you watch this, as people rewatch it, you're going to hear some things you didn't know, because it's like any sport. If you watch hockey and you don't know what the rules are, it's not fun.
Okay. Yeah.
If you watch football and you don't know what the rules are, it's not the same. Baseball, as slow as it moves, if you don't know what the rules are and what these people are doing, you know, it's a snore fest. And I can say the same with golf. There's rules and things they're trying to do, and if you know what it is, you watch it, and if you don't, for it.
Right.
All right, so here's an example.
Beach volleyball is great, though.
We can add, these are easy ones, and I'll come up with. Joe, explain to TV world what a check swing is, and why some of them are balls and some of them are strikes.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting, because that is probably one of the most arbitrary decisions in all the game, and it's totally.
Let's say it's a right-handed batter.
Okay, so check swing is this. Batter thinks it's going to be a strike. He attempts at the ball.
Starts to swing, yeah.
He attempts at the pitch. Doesn't take a full swing, which we know what a full swing is. Kind of goes, say halfway.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a check swing is, did he go far enough to be deemed an attempt, to hit the ball,
and that's or
to put it in play.
The catcher will point on this right-handed batter. You see him point to the umpire. Everyone has seen that. Right?
On the which umpire? First base?
Well, right-handed batter, first base.
Okay. So that's why I've seen them point. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see point. So So the catcher is now pointed to the umpire at first, Joe.
Okay. So the catcher cannot call for a check swing. The catcher pointing says, tells the home plate umpire, I would like you to ask for help. Okay.
Okay.
So the first base umpire is not going to offer his opinion because of the catcher.
Right.
If the home plate umpire is like, nope, I've got this, I saw it, don't need to go down there, he's going to make the call himself.
Okay.
Now, as a courtesy, quite often, he will say, okay, listen, I may not have gotten a good look at it, Mr. First Base Umpire. You have a better line of sight. Did he go? And of course, the umpire will either call him, yes, he did, or no, he didn't. Okay. The thing about this is that there is no clear, distinctive terminology to state if the bat goes past a certain point, this is a strike and this is a ball. It's totally arbitrary.
So it's not clear.
But they use home plate, right?
No. They use the angle of the bat. Like, if this ball would have hit the bat, would it have gone in fair territory? because
Ah.
you know you can't use home plate because
Oh,
people they sit way back in the box, they may sit
yeah,
up in the box, so the
right.
home plate is not a that's not the determining factor. They're
Okay,
looking at the angle of the bat, and
okay.
in all honesty, okay, the umpires have gotten pretty good with this, and you know, with slow motion, the advent of slow motion, we get a chance to see, uh, yeah, if that ball would have hit that bat at some point, it would have gone in fair territory. But still, uh, you know, totally discretionary to the umpires, and quite honestly, you'd like to think that at this point, with the technology and all of the data points and the measurables around the stadium, you would think they would be able to determine if that ball had hit the bat, would it have gone between the foul lines? You know what I'm saying? And yes, that'd be determined a swing. But as it stands, totally arbitrary.
All
What you
right.
guys think?
Well, we
So
have a hand in the audience.
yeah. So in your opinion, do you think technology in this sense has kind of made the game worse? And now the second part of that question would be, you know, what you see at home watching as they're talking and showing slow-mo is very different than what the umpire can see in the moment on the fly as it's all happening and make a judgment call. And because the people at home get the chance to see all of that, and you don't see that necessarily on the field unless there's a review called of a play, right?
Right, right.
Do you
Well,
think that technology in some ways has just made the game worse? Is that kind of where some
I
of it's
do not.
at, or okay, okay,
And this was kind of Paul's thinking around having me be a segment, if you will.
Yeah.
sure,
And what you've opened with simply the technology side of it, we can probably have segments from here until 2028. Okay.
great. I'm excited already.
Okay. So, uh, and just as again as an initial observation,
Yeah,
broad coverage, and then we can always dig deeper, which I'm sure we will, and that's one of the things. Paul, being a super fan, um, we can take smaller segments and dive down, but
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
as a whole,
yeah,
all right. Um, uh, technology has always technology has been a part of the game for a long time now, even back when I
yeah,
played. When we say technology, when we're talking about the advent of video, you know, we're talking about the advent of graphs and tracking and stuff like that. So you know, obviously, technology has, especially in the game and sports in general, has really grown because they saw where it could be either beneficial, harm, whatever you want to call it, but it could be
yeah,
used. It could be applied, and
right,
so it's been coming. It's just been, you know, it's just sped up, just like, you know, our society with you know, the advent of AI, the internet, and cell phones and everything. You know, it's been coming.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
so I do I do like some of the technology, the rule changes, and what have you. Case in
mm.
point, the pitch clock, absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely fantastic.
yeah,
Couldn't agree more.
agreed.
You know,
Yeah,
taking games
Well,
from
again,
free.
for people watching that may not know,
yeah,
briefly, what's the pitch clock?
Okay, so prior to the pitch clock, okay, there was no time limit. There was no time tracked. No nothing. Games just they just happened, and there was no time.
And the
Uh,
batter and the pitcher are
could
affected by
delay.
the pitch
They
clock.
couldn't. And it got to the point where it was just taking so long to implement action, you know. And what we're talking about action is you know, the time when the pitcher, you know, gets ready to pitch,
Yeah,
you know, sets himself, presents it, goes to home plate, batter hits it, it doesn't, catcher throws it, whatever. That's the fun part. Okay, and
right.
that's what you
Yeah,
want to see. And
yeah.
so it was getting to the point where it was just dragging on, and games were
Mm.
taking over 3 hours, 3.5 hours, you know, 4 hours,
Wow.
which is ridiculous, and we know that. And it was it was painstaking to watch. So the owners, they decided we need to speed the action up. So what they did was they basically tried to eliminate the downtime by using pitch clocks. And
Yeah.
so the owners, what they did was they installed clocks, literally stopwatches, stop clocks, or two behind home plate and one in center field, so that they can be visible to the players. And they said, after trial and error, minor leagues, and then tweaking it and everything, they said basically in a nutshell, we've got 15 seconds, okay, when nobody's on base, for the pitcher to get the ball and throw it back to home plate to make your pitch. Okay, stop dilly dallying. Hitters, get in the box, stay there. You don't need to go out and adjust your gloves and do all your stuff. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hey, and now mind you, Jody played for the Red Sox. Big Poppy would take at least 2 minutes every pitch. He'd step out and do the glove thing and the
Tap
this
his cleats.
and so forth every single time.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was
now I
obnoxious.
think you've got to be in the box. What, 8 seconds left?
15 seconds from when the pitcher receives the ball from the catcher.
Okay.
Boom. Clock starts. You have 50. He has 15 seconds to deliver the ball. At the 8-second mark, the batter has to be alert and
Ready.
addressing the pitcher. Okay, so that's kind of the rules. Now you
have to
get
make
20
eye
seconds.
contact.
You get
20.
I think it's 20 seconds. Yeah, you get 20 seconds when a runner's on base. So obviously, so the pitcher can check him and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So huge fan of that. That
Yeah.
took game times from 3+ hours, and when I say 3+, we're talking closer to 3 hours and 30 minutes. It took it down to about 240, 235.
Yeah. That's
Huge
interesting.
difference. That's
Massive.
a huge difference. Okay.
Yeah.
And all they did was just eliminate the downtime. Okay.
I've noticed that when we've had a couple of times where we have tickets to go to the FSU softball games, and I heard that you played baseball there, and there's a brick with your name on it, so I'm excited to see that at some point. But I've noticed that their games, and I don't know if softball was as drug out before or not, but their games go like lightning fast, and that clock is there, and that was what made me ask Paul about it, because I was like, dude, what is that? That's awesome. It rolls, and then Paul was like, we got to have Jody. Not that that's why we're doing all of this, but it's really interesting. I don't know if that's shortened their games at all either. I don't know if you know much about softball, but
I do.
it is. Yeah, I don't either.
I
watch
don't.
it
But
sometimes.
look, as a fan, you want to see the action. That's
Yes.
that's what's interesting. And in
Yes.
any way you can cut the downtime, that's
awesome.
that's a plus. So there's an example of technology. Okay,
Yeah, I agree
rule
with that.
changes that
Yeah.
are, that I feel benefited the game, and I'd be hard pressed to see anybody that doesn't agree with that. So, there's certain things, that have enhanced the game. Now, there are certain things that
Make it challenge.
I feel, and again, I'm just speaking up for myself, that kind of have taken away from the game. And again, the ability to what we call measure everything, the measurables. How hard the pitcher's throwing, how much the pitch is breaking, how the exit velocity from the hitter, the launch angle. So some of those things, when that's your main concern, it's become problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess
So you're saying nerds have ruined the jock sport.
No, it's not the nerds.
I'm teasing.
I think it's more the focus. You're focusing on measurables when the game is it's a highly skilled game.
Yep.
And with the focus on how hard you hit the ball and the launch angles, you've lost the I guess the passion, if you will,
Oh yeah.
to appreciate the abilities to play the game in more of a team manner. With measurables, it's more individual based. I'm trying to hit the
Yeah.
ball as hard as I can. I'm trying to hit it at this angle, and
Hmm.
it's more individual based. The individual's trying to do that.
There's a
And
term
remember,
in
Jason, there's no I in team.
That's right. That's right. But there's a me in that. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. There's a term in other gaming arenas and gaming spheres. We call it min-maxing. It's in video gaming. It's in tabletop gaming and stuff like that, where instead of being focused on the joy of the game and playing the game, you start to learn what aspects of the game allow you to become more powerful or more potent or this and that, and you lose sight of the entire game and the joy of the game for just trying to create the most mechanically like accurate and like dominant character in the game, so to speak. And we call it min-maxing, and it has infiltrated pretty much everything that I can think of that we get involved as humans, and then go like, well, here's the game and here are the rules, and then we continue to adjust and adjust incrementally until the room of adjustment and the room for error is so minute that there's only one way to play it. And if you don't play it this way, you can't be any good at it anymore. And then you end up with this like min-maxed linear
Jody,
train path.
Sometimes we got to stop Jason. He goes
Oh.
off track. No one,
Okay.
Nobody knew what the hell he just said. I let him talk a little bit.
Like what, Jason, for this,
Jody and I,
these little guys.
Jody and I are sitting there like, what the is he talking
What
about?
game are we
Jason's
talking
we got
about here?
min-maxing, and we got this. Jody and I are like, what the? We were talking baseball.
No, yeah. So, yeah, it sounds. I'm just saying that it sounds to me very similar to stuff that I've experienced in like my history of gaming with other games.
No,
Yeah.
it is, Jason. You're exactly right, and we're not talking about baseball exclusive. I mean, we're talking about sports in general.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
you can go to any sport, and they'll probably say the same thing.
Yep.
Technology has taken the focus away from, I guess the winning aspects of the game, and it's focused on the me aspects.
Yeah.
So that in itself is kind of, I guess that's been the debate. And
Interesting. Very
in
interesting.
all honesty, it'll be curious to see if over time,
Course correct.
course correct, exactly. If, say for instance, bunting. I mean, for years, I mean, you could count how many bunts were done in Major League on one hand. Bunting was, and apparently they had the data to enforce or to reinforce the fact that bunting was not as advantageous as swinging away.
Right.
But again, the one thing that the data does not have and will never be able to take into account is the human element. You know what I'm saying? How humans respond. What condition are they in? Is he slumping? Is he doing? And so you can't take into account the human element that a manager, sees. He knows the human side. He knows where his players are at. Right, correct. He knows the frame of mind they're in. He knows how they're feeling. He knows, what's what, who. And so that's the kind of the balance of, is this gonna end up coming back into the game? The hit and run, the ability to hit behind runners, the let's not focus on when we got a runner in scoring position, which is second base. Let's not focus on how hard we're going to hit the ball. Let's focus on just hitting the ball and trying to at least at the end of this at bat being productive, and that means benefiting the team. So it's been interesting to watch. Paul watches the Rays.
It
Paul
sounds
watches
interesting.
The Rays, and the Rays, interesting enough, it seems like they've adopted this philosophy of kind of going back to the team concept and doing things to benefit the team in certain situations, kind of against the
Interesting.
grain, and they're finding a lot of success.
That's really cool. That's
And
really look.
so,
This is all very interesting, and I don't want to cut you off in the middle of it, but it's 1:40, Paul.
No,
So
we're gonna go.
I don't know how long you want to go.
No, we're done because he'll be
Okay,
back.
okay.
Hopefully, he's going to come back and be on the show
Yeah.
Fridays.
I find them
educate
very
the
interesting.
people. Yeah.
like
And
I
I've got
said,
lots of questions about other stuff, so we'll
Yeah,
have
write 'em
plenty
down.
to do.
So-
I will,
yeah.
100%.
So that's kind of the plan. Well, is if the listeners have questions,
Yeah.
send them in.
Yeah.
We'll have this segment and we'll answer it. And like I said, we'll continue to just share some of the inner workings, thoughts from an insider, things that you wouldn't normally be privy to,
If you
and we'll
guys-
just see where it goes.
If you guys see any of the clips from your watching that you're like, oh, we've got to talk about this. This is a really interesting thing or whatever. See if you can clip that and shoot it to me, and I can actually get them up for us to like put up while we're talking. If that ever becomes something that's like you want to like go, okay, what you probably don't know behind this or something that's going on. I think that'd be fun too. But,
Jason, I hear from Paul almost multiple times nightly. Okay.
That's because he never returns my calls.
And I'm watching Homeland, and he's of course watching the Rays game, and he's like, "Why are you watching?" Of course not. This is happening, and I'm like, "Okay, here's what's going on." So I tell him, I said, "Look, write it down. Write it down. Yeah. Take some information about what point in the game it was, and maybe Jason can pull it up and we'll talk about it on the so
Yeah.
literally the content is endless with Paul.
Yeah.
And he will be he could be our sole provider.
Yes. Well, I look forward to it, and this has all been very interesting to me. At least I hope it's interesting to everybody else who normally tunes in. So I think that this is going to be a really fun segment moving forward.
It'll be good. And I already
Paul,
got
I'll let you wrap up.
No, we're good. Take us out. Listen, here's the deal. It's Friday, about 1:45. We did go long. That's good.
Yeah.
June the 5th, tomorrow. I believe June 6th was D-Day. People don't know that's where World War II really got started for America. They blitzkrieg Germany on numerous islands. The death toll was staggering. Once again, back to kind of Memorial Day. Thanks for all those guys. Church is 1 hour a week. It's Sunday, Saturday. Get your butt in there. Thank Jesus for all that he's done. I know Jody's blessed. I know you're blessed. I know I'm blessed. Right. And I know it's all because of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Believe me, I don't take that for granted. Neither does Jody. And I don't think Mr. Crawford does as well.
That's right.
Go in and say thank you. And then, God willing, we'll see you back next Friday.
You got it. I'll take us out.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family.